Hi, Pisces. Welcome to your February reading. Happy birthday to my February Pisces birthdays. We're going to do short readings this month since I'm trying to just kind of like get back into the groove of reading all 12 signs. First, if you want a more extended look at each month, I did do the January through June 2023 readings for each sign. I will link that in this video, and the link will also be in the description box. And yeah, we're going to start with a Power of Surrender card. I've been working with these Oracle cards for a while, and I really, really like them. Even for myself, I pull a surrender card every day to see what it is that I'm going to be surrendering. We're getting a lot of natural light in my room right now. So it might, like, the cards might be a little glary. Hopefully it's not like too much. So let's see what's going on. What is it that Pisces is surrendering for February? Ooh, surrender to trust. Trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. See what I mean about the glare? I'm not really sure. Like, what's the best position to show you this card? I'm not really sure. So surrender to trust. And it's actually really, it's a girl like sitting under a tree. And she's like on her knees and she's has her hands in prayer position. So this is really about trusting your intuition, like trusting that gut feeling and trusting that your decisions or the things that you're wanting to do for yourself and like what you want to do to move forward, that they're right and that they're true. It took a really long time for me to learn how to trust my intuition. And a lot of that, I mean, I have to say this, a lot of that was removing myself from other people's opinions. Like, my mom has very strong opinions about just about anything. I've had friends that have had really strong opinions about what I'm doing in my life and where I'm going and all of that. And it was like, I understand, even my very intuitive friends, right? Like, I've had to look at them sometimes and be like, I understand that this is what you're getting intuitively. This is what, you're feeling for me. But when it comes down to it, like, I have to learn how to trust my own gut. I have to learn how to trust my own self in these experiences. And when you trust yourself, life aligns better, life flows better. Everything is sort of, how do I want to put this? When you trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be and you are doing your part to bring happiness and joy and peace into your life. I say happiness and joy because they're actually two different things. Like, happiness is a fleeting feeling, and joy is one of those things that you cultivate daily. Joy is something that nobody else can take away. Happiness kind of fades over time, right? So the more you trust yourself, the easier it is for you to see where that alignment is in your life and what it is that you're resonating with. And the more you listen to your own instincts on what you're supposed to be doing with your life, the easier things kind of become. And I know that that sounds a little silly, but I mean, we can all be a little wishy-washy sometimes. Like, let's be honest, when we're trying to make decisions, I'm a Libra rising. And sometimes it's like, is this really the decision I want to make? Is this really the direction that I want to go in? So we're just going to get a few, however many cards. Okay, so we've got 3. Nice. Okay. We have the 4 of Pentacles. We have Judgment. And we have the Page of Swords. So it's time for you to be honest on where they want me to use the word holding yourself back. It's time to be honest with yourself on where you are not allowing the energy to flow in your life. This Four of Swords, like this little guy here in this Four of Swords, he doesn't have any more room to hold on to anything else. And if he were to, I don't know, step off one of those pentacles or let go of one of these pentacles, in this Four of Pentacles, if he were to let go, then all of a sudden the energy opens up and it's not so rigid. Like this feels very, very rigid. For some of you, this is about finances. You're having to be honest with how you're holding on so tightly to your finances. Like one of the things that I really had to learn in financial and learning, like how to be financially mature, because I was not taught how to be financially mature when I was a kid. My parents didn't even know. They were in survival mode. Parents who are in survival, people who are in survival mode are not good being financially mature. Like my parents thought that being financially mature was putting all of their, making sure that they were paying off everything that was in collections. Like I remember, I'm old enough to remember when the credit score became a thing, like was invented. It was in 1989 that the credit score was invented. And the 80s were all about credit cards and getting credit and buying cars with credit and buying houses with just everything, like credit, right? And so my parents thought that being financially mature meant putting all of their stuff that they owed into the credit company. But then that was like a credit consolidating company or something. But then that's where all their money went. Like it was a very mishandled way of dealing with money back in the 80s and 90s, really. And so that's what's bringing this up for me. And speaking of those of you who were born in the mid 90s, your Saturn return is coming up with Saturn in Pisces. The last time Saturn was in Pisces, I don't remember the exact date. Oh my gosh, I should have looked this up first, but it was in the mid 90s. And so your Saturn return is coming. Also, if you're watching this and you have Pisces placements, I'm going to highly recommend that you get, whether your Saturn is in Pisces or you're with your Pisces placements, if you're not cross-watching this, get that Saturn in Pisces reading that I've got. It's definitely going to really help you. Saturn is going to be moving into Pisces on March 7th. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to March. But you guys are really preparing for this. Like every Pisces is going to deal with Saturn in Pisces. The other signs that are really going to be dealing with Saturn in Pisces are Virgos, Geminis, and Sagittarians. And every sign is going to be dealing with Saturn in Pisces in some way, shape, or form. So if you want to know how your natal chart is going to be affected, I have a reading for that. I also have solar return readings. If you want to get it in February, you want to get it in March, totally up to you. But yeah, so here we are. Back to this reading in particular, but I did want to bring that up. So there's definitely, in a really big way, there's like, I mean, you can't even deny it anymore with Judgment here. Like it's really time. The Page of Swords is the honesty. And with Judgment, the universe is saying, like, we've got your back. We're here for you, but there's no more rest, right? Like these people are coming up out of their graves, up out of the darkness, right? Up out from the underworld. In shamanic practices, the underworld is not a scary place to be in. It's actually a very healing place to be in. So it's nice to, people are being resurrected. Like this is really a big turning point. And I think the turning point is your honesty, like with yourself, and it's not even about being honest with other people. And this could have a lot to do with not even necessarily just like finances, but it feels like you've kind of been in this stuck position and not really knowing like the next place to go. But intuitively, you know that there's a change that's coming. So with the moon on the 4 of Pentacles, like you already sort of had a feeling that this, like, can we call it a lesson? Sure. I mean, life is full of lessons, full of them. But with the moon, first of all, there may not be a lot of clarity around what it is that you're supposed to be doing to help this energy release happen. But there's definitely a change that's occurring, and you've felt it coming. We have the Wheel of Fortune. I mean, you guys always do feel it coming. We have the Wheel of Fortune on Judgment. The Wheel of Fortune is very Jupiterian driven. Jupiter is now out of Pisces and in Aries. And for Pisces risings, that means that Jupiter is now in your 2nd house. And so a lot of this has to do with no longer being stagnant with finances and being able to push forward with finances. For some of you, it's just about the energy opening up. And, you know, we talk about divine timing a lot. And I know that divine timing can be like a real bitch sometimes. I told an awesome story about divine timing that happened for me when it came to getting my shamanic drum personally made by somebody, by a friend of mine. And I waited because we were going to do a trade, and I didn't want to like push an astrology reading on her. So I waited until she was ready. And I talked about that in the new moon video. The Aquarius new moon is happening today, actually. 7 of Pentacles on the Page of Swords. So really being honest with yourself about the seeds that you're planting and the directions that you want to go in. February is going to be a really, really, really awesome time for the clarity to be received, the aha moments to happen. The thing about it is there's patience involved when we're planting seeds. Like you can see this guy in the 7 of Pentacles here. He's got all of these 7 pentacles in this garden, and he's just patiently, like he's done all the work. You know, he tilled the ground and he planted the seeds and he watered them, and they're out in the sun and they're getting what they need from nature. But there's really nothing much more that he can do. You know what I mean? So there's this honesty factor about what it is that you're planting and how that is creating, like you can't plant more seeds and let things in when you're sitting in the 4 of Pentacles kind of situation. You see what I'm saying? So really trusting that, and sometimes that's hard, right? Let me read Surrender to Trust again. Trust yourself and your decisions. Don't be swayed by other people's strong opinions about what to do. Take action and be confident that you have chosen the right path. And sometimes that's frightening. But you know, it's funny because fear can be a great paralyzer or it can be a great motivator. And it really just depends on like how you're going to allow it to get to you. So I love you guys. I hope you enjoy February and your birthday season. And I'll talk to you for Pisces season in February. So I hope you're all doing well. Take care. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.